Hey boys, welcome back to some NRL Supercoach 2022. It's going to be the round 11 review. We, as you can see, scored 1,089 points, which, I thought going into, results, I was expecting some red arrows. I thought, because, we're like 700s. I was expecting maybe to stay around that 700-800 or maybe even, get closer to 800-900 rank overall. But I think it just showed that a lot of people in the top 1,000, top 500 even, have very similar teams. And, a lot of the... I would say the majority of the big names or the most popular players didn't go that well. Because, 1,089, it was a low-scoring week. I saw some decent scores, but, it was a week that some very weird teams would have got some decent points. I would hazard a guess. We had some okay performances. Our trades of the week were pretty piss poor. We'll go into the finer details, but we're now ranked 541, which is good. It's great to be sort of nestled in that top 1,000 pretty comfortably now, and I mean, I'm gonna push for trying to jump up the ranks in the coming weeks and over the buys. I'm definitely gonna try to try to jump up a little bit more, but hopefully as long as we can stay where we are, and that's sort of the thing with Supercoach as it is now. Like, you've got to sort of really screw up if you really drop out. Some really bad captaincy options, not really planning for the buy, running out of trades potentially. So we got to keep in mind all that sort of stuff. But let's go into the team. So Harry Grant, 49, his lowest score. He did get a try assist, which is nice, but obviously the Storm got flogged once again. And he did play halfback, which was, I don't know, it was a weird one. I sort of thought it wasn't a bad option for them to slot him into halfback and Brandon Smith starting dummy half, but I don't know. The Storm, they definitely are missing Hughes, and Hughes is back this week. I'm pretty sure he's been confirmed back, so that's huge news for Melbourne. Not good news for the Manly Sea Eagles. Not good news for Manly, with obviously the terrible news of Tom Trbojevic being ruled out for the season. They're taking on Storm at Amy Park this Thursday night, after Storm have been flogged 2 weeks in a row. I mean, if that's not a bad week to take on the Storm, I don't know what is. So unfortunate for the Seagulls, I got to be honest. Tommy Starling, 73. So he actually got some points. I kept not playing Starling. No, I kept playing Starling, but this week I had so many options as my 4 reserves that I didn't play him, which was a mistake. It didn't cost me that much. Well, actually, it did. It did. We'll go over our other reserves in a second here, but Starling finally got some points. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sort of just keeping Starling for round 13 primarily, and then we will move him on for... I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to move Starling onto. I'll look at round 17, see if there's any good options. I haven't really looked at it. There's not that many good dummy half options as it is now, apart from Grant, Cook, Coruscant in a pinch. But it's a bit slim. But we'll have a gander later in the season. The front rowers, Isaiah Papali'i he just continues to score. I mean, good God, if you didn't jump on Papali'i, you're really missing out. He just continues to score well. He's the number one front rower now, and he's gonna maintain that. You just can't see him scoring poorly. It just doesn't happen. Just a a Supercoach god at the moment. The last couple of years, he's just been incredible. Tavita Pangai Jr., I was this one. I'm glad I played him. I saw obviously he was starting from the bench, and don't get me wrong, I was sort of half tempted maybe to not play him, just because I still thought, like, I honestly thought he would probably do better off the bench. He would be, he would come on more as an impact player. He could come on and actually do something rather than trying to play that whole 80 minutes and just trying to, not gas out in 30 minutes. So I was pretty hopeful of that, but at the same time, with all the news about him potentially wanting to leave after Trent Barrett was gone, there was something in the back of my head that was like, are they making an example of him? Are they just going to play him like 20 minutes or something? But thankfully, he got some pretty decent minutes and some good stats. So honestly, going forward, if Pangai stays on the bench and more comes on through the middle, I think that's probably better for him in general. So yeah, we'll weigh up, but also he's a guy on the chopping block after round 13. We'll weigh up options going forward, but yeah, definite hold until round 13 at least, and potentially a season keeper depending how his minutes fare over the next few weeks. Josh King and Max King, they're starting to come back down to earth. Max King has definitely fallen away. I mean, he was banging out 50 points literally every week with with no game time, and you sort of just knew it was going to drop. You knew teams would start to realize, okay, this guy is offloading a lot. We've got to wrap the ball up, and yeah, teams have sort of started to figure out Max King and really nullified that part of his game over the last few weeks. So disappointing, because I mean he was a guy that, yeah, you were keeping him until round 13. You were hoping he would keep up that sort of 45 to 50 point range, and then move him on at a decent price. But yeah, if he keeps getting like 30s, he's going to drop in price, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult to move him on to anyone decent. But we'll see what happens with Max King. And then Josh King, I mean, he's still doing good. 39 points, because I think what did he get last week? He got a decent score last week, didn't he? What did he get? Yeah, he got 47, and then 66, 64. So honestly, I was going to say he's fallen off, but he's still been pretty consistent, Josh King. And I don't know. I mean, I probably will look to trade him. It's never really been a priority. I've had other issues, and he still scored well, so I haven't really needed to get rid of him. And at the same time, there just hasn't really been anyone of importance. Like I already had obviously Tamalolo, I had Pangai, Papali'i, so there wasn't really a pressing issue for round 13 to try and get anyone else in. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Josh King. The back row, bit of a stinker here. Well, there was some good, there was some bad. So Talakai, 43. He didn't play like the last 15 minutes, which was very unfortunate. He obviously copped that ankle injury. It looks like he's good to back up, and the big news here is that he's got the center wing status. So that's very, very nice. And I don't know if I'm gonna send him straight into the center wing, because I mean, my center, like, honestly, I'm a little torn on what to do with the center wings, because there's definitely one guy that I sort of have to get in this week, and I think everyone knows who that is from the doggies, Kira's. But we'll talk about him in a second when we get to the center wingers. But yeah, Talakai, he got that nice try assist, or no, he didn't get a try assist. He got like a line break assist, and he had some decent points. He probably, I mean, if he played the rest of the game, he probably would have got 50, 60 points almost. I still don't mind. I feel like a lot of people are probably starting to jump off Talakai potentially, but nah, I'm gonna keep him. I think he's a keeper in center wing 100%. I mean, if he didn't get the center wing status and he was just second row, then yeah, potentially you could look at trading him on to a more sort of consistent second row forward, because again, teams are starting to shut him down a lot more. They're putting more pressure on him for sure. But I feel like centre wing, he's a lock. He is an absolute lock in. And I don't, like, people are talking about the loss in money, but I mean, I think I bought him when he was like 450k. So the loss of money means nothing. Like, it's like stocks, dude. If you don't sell him, then the monetary gains and losses don't mean anything. So yeah, Talakai, he's a keeper. Unless he gets dropped, but we'll see. Angus Crichton 73, pretty solid, honestly. I don't think he had any real attacking stats. It was just sort of base stats. So I'm pretty happy I brought him in that couple of weeks ago. I sort of wish I went with Ruben Cotter instead. But I think when that happened with all the nonsense with what was it? What's his name? Ola Kawata was ruled out, and then I was going to get Tupanua, but Tupanua was ruled out, and I think Cotter had already played in the game before, so I couldn't get Cotter, so that's why I ended up going with Crichton. Honestly, he's not a lock for like, if I'm being honest, he's probably not at Origin form. I feel like New South Wales have better players in better form at the moment, so I think he will get a bench spot. But if he doesn't, it would be very nice, because that would be an extra number and a very good extra number. But I think Fittler will go with Crichton on the bench because he does offer some decent versatility. But honestly, there's a lot more forwards in better form than Crichton for New South Wales. But I think he'll go with him, unfortunately. Tamalolo 16. So disappointing couple of weeks. He got like 20 odd last week. He only played about 30 minutes, and then this week he got injured. So yeah, well, I'm not trading Tamalolo out this week because it doesn't. From early reports, it doesn't seem like it's a serious injury. But you know, potentially could be a couple of weeks. If it looks like he's missing round 13, then I think, you know, he is a trade out, because I don't think Tamalolo is a keeper anyway. He was a great number and a great pickup for round 13, but if he's gonna miss round 13, then I think he's a definite trade out before then. So we'll keep him this week, and then next week I'll weigh up sort of what they're thinking with JT, but I don't know. It's a wait and see. It's a wait and see with Tamalolo. Adam Elliott 52. So this one, I don't know how he got 52 points. I only got to see like the second half of this game, and Elliott, from all reports, he played fantastic in the first like 30 minutes. He was on like a decent amount of points, and then for whatever reason, Ricky Stewart had him on the bench for so long. He only brought him on like with 10 or 15 minutes to go, I think. And I was watching the game, or like the back end of the game, and he barely had any runs. He was making a couple of tackles, but I remember like it was one of the last runs of the game. He had like a couple of tackle busts, and I was like, oh, thank God. But I don't know how he got 52 points, but I'll take that. I don't know why. Ricky Stewart's such a pain in the ass, dude. I mean, Elliott, I don't like Elliott particularly, but he's been really good for the Raiders, so I just don't understand why Stewart is not playing him for longer minutes. But I think he's going to be a good number for 13. He's already made me over 100k already, so you know it was still a good pickup, I think. Nat Butcher was the guy we traded in last week for who did I get rid of? Tuolangi. So that was pretty much a straight swap with Butcher. It was a lock. I thought it was not, you know, it wasn't a must trade, but it was a pretty darn good trade. Like he was going to play lock, but obviously with Tupanua ruled out, he played in the back row, played big minutes. No real attacking stats, but he makes so many tackles, and he takes a lot of run. Like, he's got a really good base work rate for a back rower. I don't know. Would I prefer him play lock or back row? I don't know. I don't think it matters too much. I still think Butcher if he's playing big minutes, he's going to average around that 60, 65, and that is ideal. That's perfect for round 13. Good pick up there. Obviously, Ben Trbojevic did not play. Hopefully, he comes back. I don't know. With Tommy Trbojevic going down, maybe Ben comes back when he's fit for round 13. Hopefully, we'll see. It'd be a nice number, but I'm not holding out too much hope there. Our halves. So Nathan Cleary, 84. You know, pretty solid from Cleary. he just keeps scoring points. So, you know, he's a must-have. Blake Taff, 36. Unfortunately, I mean, this is sort of where I lost some points playing Blake Taff, only 36, if I went with Tom Starling. But I don't know, I saw a few people talking up Blake Taff, and I wasn't going to, but I saw other people were doing it, and I sort of just jumped on the bandwagon. You know, you got a couple of decent scores the last couple of weeks, but they were with some decent attacking stats, and I haven't been that impressed with Taff, so, or the Rabbits in general. So yeah, it was a mistake. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not that big a swing, but it is annoying for sure. Our second trade, Munster, was an absolute flop. Like, I honestly cannot believe the Cowboys flogged the Storm last week. I at least thought, like, I actually gave the Cowboys a decent chance. I still tipped the Storm even with Hughes out. I thought they would turn it around from the week before, but even regardless of that, if the Cowboys won, I still thought Munster would be in everything, and I thought he'd score really well, so I thought it was a good trade in, and I still think it is. Like, he's going to be a keeper till the end of the year, regardless of origin. So I still don't mind the trade in, even if he, like I said, even if he loses money's not an issue anymore. I mean, money shouldn't really be an issue in Supercoach at this point. You should have probably made like enough money to get pretty much anyone you want at this stage. But yeah, 37, not great. Dylan Brown, 55. Honestly, that's pretty solid. Again, he didn't really have any attacking stats. He ran the ball a lot. It's like pretty much every set he was running it at least once, and made plenty of tackles. He makes like 20, 30 tackles a game. It's ridiculous for a 5'8". So, yeah, Dylan Brown, I honestly, at the moment, I think my halves are, I mean, Blake Taff has got to go at some point, but Cameron Munster and Brown, I think they're my lock-in 5'8s for the rest of the year. Brown will play round 17, and round 13 we're a bit stuffed there, but it doesn't really matter. And you know, at the moment, Cody Walker, I don't really have any desire to get Cody Walker still, and anyone else, yeah, I don't know. Maybe a Schuster comes good. Potentially, you could make a case for Brown to Schuster, maybe. But, you know, he won't play round 17, so I like the 5'8 pairing. Moving into the centre wing, so Ruben Garrick, 100 points. Beautiful. This definitely makes up for last week. Very nice to see, getting that 100 points. Taylor May, 40 points in pretty much his base stats. Tago, 56. Very good. Tuipulotu, 72. Again, he's honestly been like one of my best trade-ins. Like, I've done some decent trades, but the Tuipulotu one was it was a bit of a risky one, just because of potential job security. You know, he was already up in price a little bit. He was $275 when I got him, but I'm really happy with the Tuipulotu pickup. Like, he's got a really good base work rate. Like, he's very similar to a Taylor May, to a Brian To'o. Bit of a tackle buster, and the try scoring has been very nice. Now, unfortunately, with Tom Trbojevic out, it's sort of I don't know. I think it's a negative pretty much all around. Like, Ruben Garrick probably moves to fullback for the foreseeable future. And, you know, his work rate will probably go up, and potentially the you know, he could be involved in a couple more try assists, but I think it's pretty much bad because, like, you know, Manly without Tom, they're just nowhere near as threatening. I think Garrick is still very good. You know, for centre wing at fullback, he's a lock-in. Tuipulotu, I think, could struggle a little bit. I think he'll still get like 40s every week with the work rate, but after round 13, he's probably going to be the guy to go. Joseph Suwali, 25. So this was a pretty decent call from me not to play Suwali. I was tossing and turning. I'm like, do I play May, Tago? I was pretty locked in for Garrick and Tupelotu, but then I was like, Suwali, May, and Tago. Which out of these three do I play? And I went with May and Tago, and it was the right decision. Billy Smith didn't play again, and Valia, 60 points, which is nice. He's going to make some more cash. And he plays round 13, so very good. And then our fullbacks, Nico Hines, 82 as captain. He got sin bin in the last second. I was mad. Oh man, that was very frustrating. I'm sure he was like probably the most captained player this week, or maybe Cleary. It would have been touch and go, but yeah, very annoying that he got sin bin in literally the last play of the game. Come on, man. That's so annoying. But he's still got 82 points. Can't be too disappointed with that. And then cool. At the moment, he's my fullback for now. Obviously, that can switch with plenty of other players. But that's how the team went. So pretty much the only trade I'm looking at is bringing in Kiraz, and so this is where it gets a little tricky because. Well, actually, it's not really tricky at all because my center wingers are absolutely stacked for round 13. Literally all of these guys, apart from Billy Smith, are going to play round 13. And honestly, Billy Smith is probably... that's the only thing I was thinking of is like Billy Smith is potentially going to come back for round 13, but it doesn't look like he's going to. I don't really know what's going on with Billy Smith. If Billy Smith was sort of confirmed to come back, then I'd probably look at getting rid of Valia, but because he got 60 points, he's gonna start making some more cash. So I think Billy Smith is the man to go for Kiraz. He's been really good. He plays round 13 as well. So yeah, I'm absolutely chocked. I'm stacked. I'm stacked in the center wing. So yeah, and this is sort of my plan because obviously Talakai, I'm not looking to shift him at the moment. Like I said, after round 13, sort of my short-term plan is probably Talakai down and trade out Tupelotu. I think Tupelotu is probably the first guy to go. And probably Valia as well, depending. But I think Tupelotu, he will have made like a good amount of cash. But without Tommy Trbojevic, probably the points aren't going to be there. So Talakai comes down. Talakai will be a number for round 17. And then Tupelotu will trade for a gun back rower that's going to play round 17. We'll look at options there. But that's sort of the plan. Because if we look at numbers... for round 17, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll count Tamalolo for now. That's touch and go. But 4, 5, 6. I'm not going to count Crichton because I'm pretty sure he'll make Origin. I won't count Ben Trbojevic either because it doesn't look like... I mean, he might come back. We'll see. But six definites. 6. Do the Rabbits play? Does Tav... Are the Rabbits... round 13. Do Rabbits play? No. Okay, so we don't have any halves, but that's fine. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 with Cooler. So we have 13 players already. Now a few of these guys aren't the best. Valia, not great. Cooler, I mean, he's got points in him, but obviously at the moment he's not really getting the attack. But I just feel like there's some big points for Cooler at some point. Like, he's too good not to go over for a couple of tries. But yeah, a couple of lower scoring guys, even like everyone else is like pretty solid though. I mean, Max King not the best either. So, but yeah, that's not bad, honestly. Probably the only issue at the moment is that, like, like captaincy options are going to be a little weak. Like I think Garrick is going to be like a really good vice captain or captain option, and then I don't know, maybe I don't know who else. Like that's the problem. Like people that have Drinkwater or Manu, they've got a really good vice captain captaincy options, so that's the only issue. But let's just make and this will make another number as well. So this will be 14. I'll have 14 players at the moment, and that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I feel like I've definitely used a lot of trades, and Kira's. I mean, honestly, he could he be a keeper? Maybe. I mean, he's a bit of a tackle busting, and he's a good player. He looks the goods for sure. And this also gives us a lot more money to spend. So we got too much money to know what to do with at the moment. But I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good like that. I think I'm only going to make one trade this week because, you know, I'm going to wait on Tamalolo. We'll just swing in Nat Butcher for now. And I've got other options for the reserve. I think my 17 is still pretty strong. Like I said, the only two guys I'm sort of looking at for round 13 is probably Joey Manu and Drinkwater. Is Drinkwater a halfback? He is, right? Is he? Or is he 5'8"? That's going to be annoying, isn't it? Yeah, he's goddamn 5'8". That's annoying. That's frustrating. But actually, what we could do, no, that wouldn't work. I could potentially just get rid of like Cooler. I could get rid of Cooler for Drinkwater come round 13. Because, again, I can't see Cooler getting like 100 points, whereas Drinkwater potentially can. So, you know, we could just get rid of Cooler at round 13. I'm not going to rush to get in Drinkwater as of now. You know, he got 57 points. He's still averaging 75. I feel like, you know, I feel like he's going to start coming back down to earth a little bit. So I'm not that keen to just rush him straight in. So I think the one trade is fine. I guess other guy like Ola Kawatu potentially is a good trade in, but like my numbers are good, so I'm sort of at this point where I'm like, I don't need to keep doing trades to get for round 13. Like my players aren't the absolute best for round 13, but they're good enough. And because, yeah, the Cowboys take on Panthers this week as well. So there's no point in getting in Drinkwater this week. And if we have a look, let's actually have a look at like the top scoring players that are going to play round 13. So total points. Who have we got? At the moment, no one. All these guys don't play. They're either playing Origin or they're on the bye period. Mitchell Moses doesn't. So Joey Manu, he's number 12. You know, 43. Obviously, he's going to go back to fullback, which is sort of the bonus with Manu in round 13. He's averaging 65, so potentially I could go Manu instead of like a Drinkwater at fullback for Cooler. I think that could be okay. And then, you know, Kickow, I'm just not that keen on Kickow. He's so up and down. It would make me mad. Yo will play Origin. Then we've got no one else here. Goes down to Tommy Dearden. I'm not keen on getting Dearden. So yeah, there's not that many like must-haves for round 13. I feel like at the moment I've got pretty much the guys that I want. Like I said, the only two are probably Drinkwater and Manu potentially, and I guess Olakau'atu as well to an extent. And I guess that if Tamalolo doesn't play round 13, I probably will just get rid of Tamalolo for Olakau'atu. I think that's a decent little trade. Because, yeah, he got 45. He's averaging 63. It's pretty solid. So, yeah, we'll give Tamalolo a week. If he doesn't play, get him out for Olakau'atu. That'll give us another really solid number for round 13. And then we'll wait another week to see what I want to do with one more trade. So yeah, I've sort of got it planned out at the moment. I think that's looking pretty good. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the Supercoach series. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.